Hello and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Joris and today I am here with a video about how our dividend is steadily increasing over time since we started it back in 2016. So since 2016 we invest 300 euros per month in SGPX. We did this until the end of July 2023. Thereafter we started investing more and in other ETFs as well. But yeah, for that year, actually, I exaggerated a bit, and it wasn't really a good decision to invest that much. So since July 2024, we invest 900 Swiss francs per month into our ETFs portfolio. And if you want to have more info, you can watch my previous video, how it started. It came out on Friday, the 2nd of May of 2025. So if you watch this one, you can go into my YouTube channel and search that video and watch that one. And one of my viewers pointed out that I didn't mention DATIV, and in previous videos I sometimes mentioned that we also owned DATIV, and in fact I should have said then that we didn't own it, but I owned it. So it only started 1 month after the SGPX ETF started, so in May 2016, but we didn't invest in it. I invested in it in August 2018, and I put almost 2000 euros towards it after selling my Microsoft position that I had back in the day. I had that for 5-6 years, and I wish I have kept my Microsoft shares because now it would be 4 times more than back when I sold it in 2018. I think it was the end of July 2018 that I sold my Microsoft shares because I thought that their results, their quarterly results weren't good, and I thought they were going to trade down, and that's what they did. So they dropped 10-15% near the end of 2018. So I thought I made the right decision by buying TDIF instead of my Microsoft shares. But yeah, here times 4 it would be now. It's always like that. Hindsight. In hindsight, everybody is a great investor, but you have to make decisions on the time itself, of course. And I kept those shares for about 1 year. I think it was only 11 months or so, but I received 4 dividends from TDIF. That's what I know for sure. And I sold my TDIF shares because we were going to move to Switzerland halfway of 2019, and I didn't want to deal with the 15% withholding tax from the Netherlands and also with the income tax from Switzerland. So that's why I sold TDIF. And as I say often, if it weren't for the 15% withholding tax, I think that the VanEck ETF TDIF would be one of the greatest dividend ETFs, global dividend ETFs around. So I hope one day the rules in Europe may be unified, but I think that's a bit utopian that I'm thinking right now. So it won't happen that fast, but I hope one day it will be the case that the whole continent of Europe has the same rules about dividends and investing. But yeah, that's just me. And we only had SGPX and 3 stocks when we moved to Switzerland, and SGPX made up about 25% of our stock portfolio, and so it was about 15k, I think, around that time. And it took us about 5 years to build up our portfolios back up to a value of about 60k. So now we are already above it because I have my U portfolio, we have our stocks on the Swiss quote account, and we have our ETFs on our Swiss quote account. So I'm really happy that after 5 years we are back to where we were before our move to Switzerland. And I promise we will keep building, and I will keep making videos on my YouTube channel so you can follow along. And in the next slides, all amounts are in Swiss francs, so don't be surprised if the numbers of this video and my previous video don't really match up, but I will explain that as I go. So in 2016 we started, and here you can see in April you see the number 944.29 Swiss francs. That corresponds to 858.84 euros, because back then for 1 euro you received about 1.12 Swiss francs. So the Swiss franc was a bit weaker, or I should say cheaper, more expensive back then, or cheaper, no, it's cheaper back then to buy for Europeans. Now for 1 euro you only receive 0.93 Swiss francs, so in that regard, yeah, back then 900 euros corresponded to way more than right now, but that's just the way it is. And if you look at the worth of our portfolio, so at the end of 2016, and the end of 2016 is for me then always October, because I didn't wrote down what the worth was in December back then, and for the coming years as well. So I only know for what price I bought it and what the corresponded worth of our complete portfolio was back then. So you can see we had only a slight profit in October of 2016, but we were happy about it because our dividend was increasing and we almost received 60 Swiss francs back then. And the biggest amount was 31.23 Swiss francs in July. So July always the biggest month for SGPX. So it was back then and it's still right now. And our predicted yearly future dividend at the end of 2016 was 119.09 Swiss francs. So I will always put it here on the side. Maybe it was better to put it the other side, but then I always cover my not financial advice, of course. So this one needs to stay here, because as you know, it's just for entertainment purposes that I made these videos, and not for giving financial advice. But almost 10 Swiss francs per month in dividends we were expecting in the coming years if we hadn't invested anything more into our ETF portfolio at the end of 2016. Then came 2017 and the market was still increasing, so we kept on adding 900 euros every quarter. The value was increasing further and further, almost in a straight line. So yeah, the markets were actually just moving along. The monthly dividend and total received. So total received, we had 326.73 Swiss francs already received in October of 2017. And for the first time in July, we went above 100 Swiss francs that we received. So in euros, it was still a little bit below 100 euros, but in Swiss francs, we had 104.57 Swiss francs. And our predicted yearly dividend was 360, almost 360 Swiss francs, and this corresponded to almost 30 Swiss francs per month. And this meant that, in fact, compared to 2016, our predicted yearly future dividend was up with 240.67 Swiss francs, which is quite nice. And that's just, of course, because we added one extra quarter of money. So we always saved up January, February, March, and then invested in April. And we saved up April, May, June, and invested that in July. That was our schedule. But if you watched how it started, you should know that. Then in 2018, we kept on adding 900 euros every quarter. The value also kept increasing, but as you see, as you go along and you keep investing continuously, you are also increasing your costs as the market goes up. You're increasing your average cost as well. So your increase in portfolio value isn't that huge, and you are also getting distributions, so you are getting the dividends, and this is keeping your actual profit that you see, especially also on GetQueen, low. And you shouldn't worry about that. It's the total amount that you receive and your total worth that is actually the thing that counts. And here you can see we are well on our way to receive in total already 1,000 Swiss francs. So now it's 726.98 in the third year. So it's 102.89 in October and 191.15 Swiss francs in July. So almost 200 Swiss francs in one go for SGPX payouts in July. And our predicted yearly or monthly dividend payout that we predicted went down slightly in April of 2018, but that was nothing to worry about. It can happen from time to time that your future yearly dividend moves down a little bit, and it was not that much. It was only with about 11, 12 Swiss francs, but to the end of the year it was already moved up to 453 Swiss francs or 37.75 Swiss francs per month. So an increase of 93.24 Swiss francs. So although we keep reinvesting our dividends as well, this year in 2018, the dividend that we received didn't increase as much as in 2017. But that can happen. So it's nothing new under the sun, but you should know that as well as a starting investor or as a veteran investor. You should know that it's not in a straight line, especially not in the beginning of your investing career. Then in 2019, so the fourth year that we invested, again, we keep on adding consistently, and we aren't bothered by the fact that sometimes our portfolio value doesn't increase that much. And here we were really close to break even once again. And here we were even below the amount that we invested. So that can happen as well. And the focus is on the dividend that we received. And here we surpassed 1,000 Swiss francs of dividends received. So we ended the year at 1,345.49 Swiss francs received. And in July, we received the maximum amount of 275.28 Swiss francs. And our yearly future dividend that we predicted only moved up that year to 673.28 Swiss francs or 56.11 Swiss francs per month. So there, once again, it was plus 220 Swiss francs for our predicted yearly future dividend. And then, of course, 2020, the fifth year that we were investing, then COVID came around in February of 2020, and our total invested amount just keeps going up. That's just how it went. So we are consistent no matter or COVID came around, yes or no. We just added more and more money to our account. And here you can see we were big in the red in April of 2020, but we also bought the shares really cheap. So it was 21 euros back then. For 21.40 euros back then, I think that the SGPX shares were worth back then. So really cheap. Those the dividends that we receive right now are more than 4%. It's more than 6% that we receive right now from the shares that we bought at that time. So we can't complain at all. It's just an opportunity back then, and we could have bought even cheaper in March, but yeah, you can't complain. So here we were big in the red, but we just kept on investing, and we ended the year with receiving over 2,000 Swiss francs in dividends already from our ETF. And here in July, this is a big surprise, of course, because yeah, it was COVID, so the companies dialed down a bit, but then in October we received the biggest amount of that year. So that's the only exception, I think, in 2020. So then the highest dividend that we received was in October of 2020, 276.31 Swiss francs. And our yearly total, it went down in July, but then it was up even higher than the beginning of the year. So 762.87 Swiss francs. So only up 89.59, but that's what a crisis year does. So with COVID, there you can see even after 5 years of investing, it's one of the smallest amounts that our yearly future dividend went up. And we ended the year with 63.57 Swiss francs per month in predicted future monthly dividends. Then for 2021, so the 6 years that we were investing, we just did the same, investing 900 euros every quarter. And here you can see that in August and November, actually the value didn't really move that much. So it kept around 25,000 here. So we were in the green back then, so it can change dramatically in over a year and a half. We went from big in the red into the green again, and one of the biggest greens that we saw so far. And the monthly dividend that we received in July was again the highest, 319.63 Swiss francs. But October wasn't that far behind, so with 260.58 Swiss francs. So it was a nice year, and we almost received in total more than 3,000 Swiss francs, but it was still 93 and a bit Swiss francs to go. But we were well on our way to break the the marker of 3,000 Swiss francs. And then the predicted yearly and monthly dividends, by the end of the year, it dropped a bit, but still, compared to last year, it was up 134.25 Swiss francs. And we were around 75 Swiss francs per month in predicted future dividends. So on our way to 100 Swiss francs per month in future dividends. So that was also really motivating. Then we had our 7th year, and then, yeah, we had the war in Ukraine that started, and then leading to inflation later on in the year. So, once again, not a great year on the stock market after 2020, but we just kept on doing what we were doing, just continuously investing, and our worth, yeah, it really plummeted, especially in July, because in July it became apparent that the inflation was going to play a big role, and that the rates were going to get higher and higher in the US, but also in Europe and in the rest of the world. So that wasn't a great year at all. So we were back in the red by the end of the year, but we broke the ceiling of 4,000 Swiss francs received in total dividends, and we also broke another record with receiving more than 500 Swiss francs in 1 month. So 545.73 Swiss francs we received in July of 2022. So that was a really nice month there. And our predicted future yearly dividends went up to 1,383.59, so a really big jump there. And this is where our snowball effect is really starting to show. So 486.47 Swiss francs more compared to the previous year. And that's because, yeah, when you can add, when you are only investing 300 euros per month, and then you receive in 1 month, you receive 253 Swiss francs, 197 Swiss francs, 545 Swiss francs, and 312 Swiss francs, you are actually increasing your amount that you are investing towards SGPX with, yeah, instead of 1 year, it's worth 1.5 years of money that you invest towards it, and that's really starting to show in your future yearly dividends. And we also broke the 100 Swiss francs per month in future yearly dividends, and we ended the year with 115.30 Swiss francs per month as predicted future dividends. Then in 2023, we started investing more since July of 2023, and that you can see as well. So this line is more like this, and then it's going steeper because, yeah, I exaggerated a bit, but that's just the way it is. We bought a house in September of 2023, and I wanted to receive more and more dividends to be able to buy the to repay the rent, or the, how do you call it, the interest that we are due on our loan for our house with our dividends. But it's not that easy, of course, and overdoing it with putting money towards investing and not towards your safety nets, it's not the way to go. I should have done like in 2013 up to 2016, but I didn't. I didn't want to have a period of 2 years and a bit of not investing extra money into the stock market. And yeah, here you can see our worth as well. Until July of 2023, it moved down just because, yeah, the inflation and the rate hikes were really weighing on the stock market. But then we started investing more, and you see the portfolio worth going up once again. But we were still in the red. And our monthly dividends, so total dividends received, went above 6,000 in total. And in July of 2023, we received 771.58 Swiss francs. So that was the record back then. And the predicted yearly and monthly dividends, we ended the year on 2,150 Swiss francs in total that we could predict for the year to come. And this means that we were about to receive 180 Swiss francs on average per month. And this meant a really big jump, so of 766.41 Swiss francs over 1 year. And that's just because, of course, we also started investing more towards the end of that year. So that's not only the snowball effect, but also the effect of investing more money. And then in 2024, so our 9th year that we were investing, so the total amount that we invested is then at the end of the year 56,226.82 Swiss francs. The total worth back then was 56,793.74. So it's only a gain of 500 Swiss francs. But as I said, it's not about these numbers, the difference between those numbers alone. It's also the total amount of dividends that we received. And we were well on our way to receive 8,500 Swiss francs in total already from our portfolio. So also 8,500 Swiss francs is then actually reinvested into this 56,000. So our own money is only 48,000, around 48,000 for this portfolio. So when you compare that amount with this amount, then we are well in the green. But here we are only slightly in the green. and the predicted yearly and monthly dividend is 2,653.99 Swiss francs by the end of 2024. But that you should know because I was making videos back then, so the monthly updates of our ETF portfolio, and that is up 503.99 Swiss francs compared to 2023. And there we were above 200 Swiss francs per month in predicted future dividends, so 221.17 Swiss francs. And here you can see that 771 Swiss francs from July of 2023 was still the highest amount that we ever received. So I'm wondering whether or not we are going to break it this year in 2025. So it's our 10th year that we are investing into our ETF portfolio, and the total invested so far is a little bit over 60,852.80 Swiss francs, and the worth is 60,005.29 Swiss francs. So yeah, it went down, you know that, because of the tariffs, of course, and we are well on our way to break the total amount of dividend that we received to 10,000. Certainly in July, we should be able to reach that with a dividend of SGPX of more than 700 and hopefully 771 Swiss francs. But yeah, it's still to see whether or not we will be able to reach that. The highest amount this year was in January because of course we own SGPX and that one pays out in January as well. So 502.46 Swiss francs. In April it paid out as well, but not that high of an amount. So now we are really waiting for July of this year, and we are well on our way to 3,000 Swiss francs in predicted yearly future dividends, and we are also on our way to have a monthly dividend on average of 250 Swiss francs per month. And so far it is up almost 200 Swiss francs compared to the end of last year. And as I said, the 10Ks in total dividend received are in sight, so that makes us really happy. And the conclusions. So our future yearly monthly dividend keeps on rising as we invest more and more into our ETF portfolio. The snowball effect was really obvious in the 7th year of investing. So the first 6 years it was really going up and down a bit. It wasn't consistent year over year how our dividend was increasing, our future yearly dividend was increasing. So you should be patient and not be discouraged when it doesn't increase that much in 1 year. Just keep at it and you will get there. And yeah, as I said, in the 8th year we also increased our input into our ETF portfolio. So by doing that we also increased our snowball, and we are continuously adding to our portfolio, so the lost profit never runs up too hugely, and that is really important because my wife is not that she doesn't want to take that much risk like me, and that's why we started investing more into our ETFs and not investing much into stocks like I used to do, because that gives my wife peace of mind, and it's also good for our relationship because financial stress is never good. So like 2023, 2024, when I was investing too much into our ETF portfolio, that was also not a good decision from my side. Then you have major events like the COVID pandemic, SARS-CoV-2 hitting the world, and the tariffs issued by Trump. They have a huge impact on the worth of our portfolio. And overall, we have a very steadfast portfolio with only a few drops in actual predicted future dividend payouts. And yeah, we like seeing that our future yearly monthly dividend keeps on rising as we invest more. So past month it was down a bit, but mostly due to the currency ratios, because the Swiss francs is just so strong of a currency. So Trump issued the tariffs and the euro went from 1 euro giving us 0.94 Swiss francs to 0.92 Swiss francs, even 91.5 Swiss francs in a matter of 2-3 days. So it really went fast with the currency ratios when Trump announced those. And we shouldn't worry about that too much, because it's still a long way to go. We are at least 20-21 years away from our retirement, and we can see in these graphs that our portfolio is well on its way to become a huge dividend portfolio, and hopefully we will reach our goal of 3,500 Swiss francs per month. But we are a huge distance away from that, and I hope you will follow along on our journey towards that huge goal. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Hitting that like button helps out the channel enormously as well, because then the YouTube algorithm is distributing this video to other people that like this kind of content. And by this, they can also subscribe, and so on and so on and so on. And with that being said, thank you for watching to this one, and see you on the next one on my YouTube channel. Bye.